We begin tonight with a riddle. What can prevent wars but also destroy our planet? The answer is nukes, nuclear weapons. They have changed the dynamics of geopolitics. They've made our world safer and more dangerous at the same time. So tonight we're looking at India's nuclear policy. What shaped it? Is it changing? And why is it changing? But first, some context. In 1998, our neighborhood changed forever. India and Pakistan conducted nuclear tests. They announced themselves as nuclear powers. The world was shocked. Bill Clinton was US president back then. He called South Asia the most dangerous place on earth. It's been more than 2 decades now. India has exercised its power responsibly. But its nuclear posture is changing. Let me pull up a new military report. It tracks the number of nuclear warheads that each country has. India has 172 warheads, 172. Now, this is a very important number. Pakistan has 170. Since 1998, Pakistan has always had more nukes than India. Just look at these graphs. In 2001, India had around 32 nukes and Pakistan had around 36. By 2005, Pakistan's arsenal increased to 40. India was at 35. From 2005 to 2015, Pakistan's arsenal grew 3 times, from 40 to 120, and India's from 35 to 110. As you can see, India was always behind Pakistan. This changed in the latest report. Pakistan's arsenal did not expand in the last year, but India seems to have added 8 warheads. It's a catchy fact, isn't it? India overtakes Pakistan's nuclear arsenal. But that's not the story here. Pakistan's nuclear policy still remains the same, and that is to deter India. But India's policy has evolved. It is now focused more on China than Pakistan. Beijing is the 3rd largest nuclear power in the world. They have 410 nuclear warheads, more than twice India's arsenal. So India's nuclear expansion is not directed at Pakistan. It's more about deterring China. And there are 3 aspects to this. The first is obviously the sheer numbers. India's arsenal has expanded 72% since 2014, 72% growth. The second is delivery. India can fire a nuke from the sea, land and air. Many of our fighter jets are nuclear capable, like the Mirage, Jaguar and Rafales. They can fire nukes from the sky. Then you have land-based missiles, the short-range Prithvi 2 and Agni 1. The medium-range Agni 2 and the intermediate-range Agni 3 and 4 missiles. A new version of the Agni missile was tested in April. It's lighter than the previous ones. And finally, you have the sea-based launchers. I'm talking about submarines like INS Arihant. They can fire nukes from the sea. Now, the point of these capabilities is quite simple. Say your enemy strikes first. They destroy your land-based nuclear missiles. How will you hit back? In this case, with your sea-based missiles. So the idea is to have more options in case you're attacked, which brings us to the 3rd aspect of India's strategy, and that is more preparedness. Usually, India keeps its nukes and launchers separately, sort of like keeping the bullets away from the gun. But reports say that could be changing. India is now putting its missiles inside canisters, basically loading the gun. Experts think that this could be a more aggressive posture, a sign of more readiness. Now, we've seen political indications of that. In 1999, India announced a no first use policy, meaning India will only use nuclear weapons if hit by another nuclear weapon. India won't fire the first shot. That was the policy. But recently, Indian leaders have suggested a rethink, like Defense Minister Rajnath Singh. Look at his statement in 2019, I'm quoting, India has strictly adhered to the no first use doctrine. What happens in future depends on the circumstances. That's what the Defense Minister of India said in 2019. The circumstances have changed since then. India and China clashed in 2020. Both sides lost dozens of soldiers, and since then, it's been a staring contest. India has deployed more than 50,000 soldiers in Ladakh. China too has a similar number there. Has this new equation forced a rethink in New Delhi? We haven't heard anything yet. But like all policies, a country's nuclear policy also evolves. Nukes have deterred countries from attacking India. But they come at a cost. The cost of an arms race and instability. So it will be a tough call for India's leadership.